So welcome. Today is Thursday. It is the 19th of January. Ekonavimshah Dinankah. Raghuvamshakavyam Dvadasha Sarga. Prathamataha Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate. Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bhiyata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Shri Rama Nama Varanana Unnama Iti. Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani. Oyi Un. Rulruk. E Ong. Ai Auch. Hayavarat. Lanya. Nyamanga Nanam. Jabang Gardadash Jabagardadash Kapha Chata Chata Tav Kapaisha Sarhal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. Okay, in the last class I think we just looked at this sutram. We just started this sutram. We just inaugurated this sutram. Inaugurated sutram number 70. Saptati tamas shlokaha udghatitaha. So that was the shloka number 70. Sasetum bandhayama sa plavagair lavanam bhasi rasatala divon magnam shesham swapnaya shanginaha. So that was the shloka which we read last time. Saptati tamaha shlokaha. One more time. It is Sasetum bandhayama sa plavagair lavanam bhasi rasatala divon magnam Shesham Swapnaya Shanginaha. So the Padacheda shloka is Saha Setum Bandhayamasa Plavagaihi Lavanam Bhasi Rasatalat Iva Unmagnam Shesham Swapnaya Shanginaha. If you look at the some of the sandhi operations here are nothing really special. This saha, this sulopaha takes place by 61132. This sutram we have seen many times in the daily examples, which is the etattadoho sulopokoranyang samase hali. Etattadoho sulopokoranyang samase hali. So basically if any hal follows this sakara of Eshaha and Saha. Eshas and Sas takes Lopaha. So we have Saha Setum as Padachetaha. This is Sakara, this Supratyaya has taken Lopa over here. Sulopaha. Okay, so here the Padacheta will be Saha Setum Bandhayamasa Plavagaihi Lavanam Bhasi Samastam Padam Rasatalat Iva Unmagnam Shesham Sapnaya Shanginaha. And the Tingantam Padam here is Bandhayamasa. Bandhayamasa. This is a Hetumati Prayogaha. It's a causative form. It's a causative form because you see the Pratyaya Am has come in there. This we will see in detail in the coming Saturday class. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. In the coming Saturday class. First, Anuprayoga Lit. Let's look at the steps for deriving this form. Bandhayamasa. Bandhayamasa. Dhatu is bandha bandhane. Very straightforward. Bandha is to bind. Also, bandha is also to construct. To construct, to build. To build or construct. If you look at apte, for the various meanings of bandha, one of the meanings is not only to bind, but also to construct, to build. Let's see what all meaning apte gives for bandha. So, bandha is to bind, to tie, to fasten, to capture, also of course to chain, to stop, to put, to attract, to arrest, to fix, to set upon. Here is there. Now comes to build, to construct, to form. So here means bandhayamasa means he caused to be built. He caused to be built. Okay, so we take dhatu bandha anubandha lope. I mean upadeshya jananasikait. At the pratyaya nich by hetumaticha, because if we have a causative form, let's say who is the hetu over here? Look at the shlokaha. Saha Ramaha. from the context. Setum bandhayamasa, plavagaihi setum bandhayamasa. So he got the bridge built by the monkeys. So he got it built through the monkeys, by the monkeys. So using the monkeys, he got it built. So so if you take the hetu out of this sentence, then the sentence would be plavagaha setum babandhuhu. Babandhuhu would have been the form. Plavagaha, because then we will no longer will have a niche in there. So this should always take as an exercise. Whenever we see a nijanta niche prayagaha, I should say hetumati. See, niche also comes from the churadibhyo niche swarte. If it's hetumati niche, you should try to make an exercise for you to see what would the sentence be. It would be without the niche. Remove the niche and see what the sentence would be. So here it would have been, for example, let's inaugurate Gita for today. Buddhim mohayasi vame. One of my favorite example in Gita, favorite example which I give all the time. For here comes in here, Buddhim mohayasi vame. Mohayasi. So you can see Buddhi muyati. So that being Buddhir muyati would be the form with ani avastha, means without the niche, and then Twam, buddhim mohayasi, mama buddhim mohayasi. So that will be less. So it will be if you remove the niche pratyaya, it will be buddhir muhyati. So that will be a good exercise for us all the time, is to see what the form will be without the niche pratyaya. And now if you say again 11th adhyaya of Gita, darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupam aishwaram anek vaktanayanam. So it will be like this over here. So here, for example, comes in Gita, darshayamasa parthaya. So harihi parthaya darshayamasa, he showed unto him. So you can say partha pashyati. So Arjuna watches. But harihi darshayamasa. I shouldn't say pashyati. This is a past tense, lit dadarsha. So partho dadarsha with the form, then it will be harihi darshayamasa parthaya. So that will be. So always. So here in the current shloka, what we have. So that's a good exercise for us, is try to see the prayogaha without the niche. So here will be, so plavagaha setum babandhu. Babandhu would have been the form. Okay, let's just derive this form. Let's see what it looks like. It says dhatu is band without the it, anubandha lope band, upadesha nasika plus niche by hetumaticha. Hetum, this pratyaya niche conveys the idea that somebody is causing someone else to do something. So prerayati. Okay, and then it says prayojayati. Tat prayojako hetushcha. Because Panini even defines what is hetuho. This hetu over here is not the usual term of cause, etc. Will be say causative, which it's a technical term. The word hetuho used in 3.126 hetumaticha is a technical term, and is defined by Panini in the adhikar of karake. Under karake, Panini first defines who is the karta. This says swatantrah karta, then tat prayojako hetushcha. So somebody who causes somebody, who instigates, who impels, who propels somebody else to do something, gets the hetu sanya, and he also gets the karta sanya, hetushcha. So there are two kartas now. There is ani karta, which is plavagaha. They are the kartaraha when there is no hetuho. And now when the hetu comes, he is also a karta, in this case Sri Ramaha, but the plavagaha also kartaraha. So tesham kartasanya napi gacchati. So napa gacchati. Does not. So the kartasanya of the monkey is also not lost. Plavagahanam kartasanyapi napa gacchati. So we have two kartas now. One is which is the one who's causing, and the other karta is also still there, because ultimately he has to do the action. So the monkeys have to build the bridge, but Rama is guiding them, or propelling them, or instigating them to build the bridge. Okay, so when such a hetu is there, pratyaya nich has to be used, because see here the verb agrees with Sri Ramaha. Ramaha bandhayamasa, not with plavagaha anymore. This bandhayamasa is agreeing with sambandha with saha. Sa bandhayamasa. So this is a verbal form, which is to be used with the hetuhu. So that's why hetumaticha nich. So nish pratyaya. So when a verb agrees with the hetuhu, when it is connecting with the hetuhu, then the pratyaya nich has to be used. So then we used hetumaticha and get the pratyaya nich. And of course, after that, just anubandha lopaha chutu halantyam sanadyanta dhatavaha. We get bandhi gets the dhatu sanya. Now what happens is that when you bring the pratyaya lit, rather than taking the usual form of what's called dvitva lit, which is by liti dhatu, ranabhyasasya, all that etc., that process is stopped. Instead, we get this pratyaya am in there, am. And as I said to you, in the coming Saturday class, we'll be seeing this in detail. So you'll be getting plenty of examples in weeks to come. We'll get a short. We have seen this in this class. We have seen this also before many times. The set of rules which convey that is from here, is from 3135 to 3139. Tells us when to use the pratyaya am. When to use the pratyaya am. It is that kas pratyayad ama mantre liti. That's the main sutra. Kas is dhatu kas and pratyayad. When you have any derived dhatu, in that case, what we call sadhita dhatu, sanadyanta dhatavaha. Then we cannot use the dvitva lit method. We have to use anuprayoga lit by kas pratyayad ama mantre liti. So this is the first sutram here, 3135, important sutram, and most of these will be this nijanta dhatavaha, because the other forms like stananta etc. are not that common compared to nich. Nich is the most common form, derived dhatus. So you can remember a simple rule. A simple rule is that when you have a causative form, we have to use this anuprayoga lit. When you have a causative form, we have to use anuprayoga lit. It's not only causative, we have any derived dhatu, but out of that the causative is the most common. And there are some other rules also here down here, which also we'll see later on. But right now what we need is that kas pratyaya dama mantre liti. That's the sutram here. And so the pratyaya am comes in here. So we get bandhi am plus lit. Then what happens is that the pratyaya am of course is a sanya of ardhadhatukam by ardhadhatukam sheshaha. Then what would it cannot take a idagama. Idagama only comes when the pratyaya is valadi. You've seen that many times. Idagama can only come if the pratyaya is valadi. Valadi means it begins with any consonant except the hakara. Because except the yakara, haya varat. So any consonant except the yakara it begins with, that is called valadi. That pratyaya, that kind of ardhatuka pratyaya can take a idagama. Now, of course, the dhatu allows it. So this pratyaya cannot take idagama. Then why not we get the niraniti, anirada vardha dhatuke pare ne lopasyat. So this am pratyaya has the sanya of ardhadhatukam. It cannot take idagama. It's not valadi. Then this nich pratyaya should normally take lopaha. Anirada vardhatuk pare ne lopasyat 6451, which we have used many times. But that sutram has apavadaha, and below that says that ayamantal vayuvet vishnushu. So that says this ay adesha comes when one of these pratyas follow. Amantal vayuvet vishnushu. Vayet vishnushu. Ayamantal vayet vishnushu. It's a tongue twister. Pronounce it slowly. Ayamantal vayet vishnushu. So these are a bunch of pratyas. So look at the saptami bahuvachanam here. So when one of these pratyas follow, then what happens is that the nich takes the ayadesha. Ayadesha. Let's look at sutram very quickly. So rather than taking lopaha, it becomes ay. So the sutram is 6451. It's a pavada for it. Normally nish should take an lopaha by niraniti, but this one says it takes the ay adesha when one of these pratyas follows. So this one is 6455. Ayamantal vayet vishnushu. You see, okay. Let's see that. These are pratyas. See, am, anta, alu, ayya, itnu, and Ishnu. So it becomes Amantal Vayet Vishnusho. So that is so this sutram is difficult to pronounce. Ayamantal Vayet Vishnusho. Okay, so the pratyaya most common over here is the am pratyaya. So what happens is that am anta alu ayya itnu ishnu eshu nehe ayadeshasyat. So that we get the adesha ay adesha. What happens now is that it becomes bandhai am lit. After that, what happens is this lit takes look. Sutram amaha. By sutram amaha. Amah parasya luk syat. So following am, there is a luk elision takes place. Let's look at 2481. We've seen this in the class before, but anyway, some chance for us to practice this. 2481, 2481, 2481. Sutram amaha. Amaha sutram. So we'll look at this in detail in the coming Saturday class also, but amaha. This amaha, amah parasya luk syat. Now, there's a slight difference between how the Kashika takes this sutram and the Siddhanta Kaumadi. The Siddhanta Kaumadi says that not only does the lit take the look elision, but now what happens is that by pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam, we get the pratipadika sanya for bandhayam. Because the pratyaya lit has a krit sanya, krid a thing. So the strange thing here is that all these lakaras, lit, all of them, lot, they initially have the krit sanya. But krid a thing, as we know, starts from 3193, I think it is krid a thing. Now only when the tiptaji come in, then it loses the krit sanya, because krid a thing. So when you say bhu plus lat, for example, we take, present tense of bhu, then when lat becomes anubandha lope becomes tip, that tip will not have sanya of krut, because krud a thing. But until that time, until the tingadesha comes, these lakaras all have the sanya of krut a thing. So here the pratyaya lit has the sanya of krut, and what happened, because the lit took the look elision, it never got the tip adesha. So what happens is that now this bandhayam is a krudantam. It gets the pratipadika sanya by krit tadita samasascha. So now what we have to start declining this form. Bandhayam plus su, because swaujas, I'm out. Because the moment you have pratipadikam, it cannot be used as it is. You have to add the pratyaya, the supratyaya to it. This 412 is a nitya karyam. There's no choice. You cannot use a pratipadikam as it is. You have to add a supratyaya by swaujas, etc. So we add the default supratyaya, and then after that we use amaha again. Luksyat. So amaha does the look not only of the lit pratyaya, but also of the default su, which came in because this bandhayam got the pratipadika sanya. Because of pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam, krutadita samasascha. So it's got the sanya. So we got bandhayam again, and then comes 3140. 3140 says that krinchanu prayujyate liti, which is 3135, 3135 to 3139 tell us when the am pratyaya comes, and after that krincha anuprayujyate liti. So the krin, in this sutram 3140, the krin is a pratyahara. Stands for kru bhu as. Krincha anuprayujyate liti. So it takes anuprayoga, means it comes with its own lit pratyaya. So kru bhu or as, out of which the as is the most common dhatu. So what we now get is that by 3140 krincha anuprayujyate liti, we get bandhayam as lit. Because this is the krin, this is anuprayoga, which comes with its own lit pratyaya. So this as plus lit will follow its usual Niti Dhaturana Bhyasasya, etc. So this part of it we can do, there are the usual forms. So us becomes, lit Anubandha Lope becomes tip, tip takes null. This part we know. This part we know because we practice a lot this one. So we get the Nalla Desha, Prasipadanam, Nalatusus, etc. Then we Anubandha Lope Akaraha, then Niti Dhaturana Bhyasasya. After that Haladi Sheshaha, Ata Adehe. Ata adehe, the adi akaraha takes the vridhya adesha. Ata adehe, I think vridhya, takes the, I should say, akara. So look at this one. This is 7170, 7170, 7170. It is, no, sorry, excuse me, 7470. I think dirgha adesha. Ata adehe, not vridhi but dirgha adesha. Excuse me, not vridhi. Dirgha adesha. Prior sutram is dirgha inakiti. So dirgha adeshaha, not vridhi but dirgha adeshaha. So we get a us plus. The reason we need that, if we didn't do that, we would have had to use atogune. We had the wrong form. Anishtam rupam syat. That's why we need ata adehe. Ata adehe. So we get dirgha adesha syat, and then we get, of course, akasama dirgha, and then get bandhayamasa. So we'll practice more of these as we go along. Important thing is that to use 3135 in any derived dhatu, out of which the most common is the causative forms, you have to use pratyaya am. When am comes, then after that it takes the aya adesha, which is this one, this sutram 6455. This is a special sutram. So normally we would have had 6451 near unity. Instead of that, 55 comes aya mantal vayet vishnusho. Okay, and then I have always practiced this sutram. It's difficult to pronounce. Mantal vayet vishnishu. Vayet vishnishu. Okay, try to practice that one. And after that, we get amaha, luksyat. Not only lit pratyaya, but also the supratyaya which comes because of prajapatika sanya also takes look. And after that, you bring kuru bhu aras with its own lit pratyaya. That's the anuprayoga. Its own lit pratyaya, and then that goes the usual steps. We get bandhayamasa. Okay, let me remind you one more thing, by the way, is that this is dhatu, this is sutram, which says aster bhuhu ardha dhatu. Okay, so now when this dhatu as takes the bhu adesha, when the pratyaya following a sanya of ardha dhatu come, now by litcha sutram aster bhu 2452. So why not here also the as becomes bhu? Because as we have seen, the litcha sutram 34155, tibadayaha, when they come in place of lit, they get the sanya of ardha dhatukam. So at this point, this tip has sanya of ardha dhatukam. Then why not we apply 2452 aster bhuho? Because of vachana samarthyat. Because Panini says krincha anuprayujyate liti. So kru bhu as can be used. Now if as is going to become bhu again, there's no point saying us can be used anuprayoga lit. You understand? Because if you're going to again say aster bhuho and make us replaced by bhu, then to say that us is used in anuprayoga lit has no significance. So vachana samarthyat aster bhuhu iti bhu adeshana bhavati. So this is the only place you will see us staying as us when the pratyaya following has sanya of ardha dhatukam. So aster bhuhu by vachana samarthya doesn't apply in this case by 2452 vachana samarthyat. Okay, so you get the form bandhayamasa. So that is the heart of the sentence. That is the tingantam padam. And so let us continue with the shlokaha. So ramaha bandhayamasa, setum bandhayamasa. Then plavagaihi. So these were the doers. See, anikartaraha means they were the doers when there was no nich pratyaya. So they now take titya. So he got the bridge built by the monkeys. And then lavanambhasi means it is a salty water. Lavanambhasi. So on the salty water he got the built bridge. And then there is the iva. There's upama down here. Rasatalad. Rasatala is the patal bhumehe from the nether regions, from the lower region. Rasatalas panchami ekvachanam, from that iva unmagnam uttitham, as if Uttitam has arisen, as if something had arisen. What had arisen? And look at the match the vibhaktis as usual between the upama, upameya. Always match the vibhaktis. See which are the vibhaktis. So here setum is with dvitiya ekvachanam, and the unmagnam is adjective to shesham. That is dvitiya ekvachanam. So what's being compared to what? The setuhu being compared to sheshanagaha. That's the comparison. Now the vibhaktis will match the vachanam, and lingam may not always match, so don't expect the lingam and vachanam always to match, but vibhaktis will match. So sheshaha. So shesham iva unmagnam, as if sheshanaga had popped up, had arisen from Rasatala, from the lower region. He had come up, and then swapnaya shanginaha. So swapnaya shanginaha means that he had come for the giving rest. Swapnaya means shayanaya, for the purpose of giving rest, for repose, for rest of Sharanginaha Vishnoho. The Sharanga is, Vishnoho Dhanuho. The Shringasya Vikaraha Sharangaha. Shringasya Vikaraha Sharangaha. So from Shringa, so it is made from a horn. It's called Sharanga. So Shringa, from Shringa, it's a Tadita Prayogaha, we make Sharanga, and Sharangin is one who always had. In fact, just in yesterday's class, we just saw that in yesterday's class, Sharanginaha. So maybe we can take it, we were just finishing up yesterday with these special meanings in which the Matu Pratyaya is being used. So we were right here, we were looking at this form, these Vishesharthaha, special meanings which we get when we use the Matu Pratyaya Pratyayaha. So here we have, we saw yesterday, let me bring it up there. Okay, we had Bhumni, when there are many of them, Nindayam in the sense of censure, Prashamsayam Matup, Nitya Yoge, Atishayane, and then Samsarge. We said, Dando Astyasteti Dandi. So one who always has a staff in his hand, not that he kept it at home, but he has it in his hand. Samsargam is always attached to that. So maybe we can take this one like that also. So Sharango Asya Astitid Sharangin. Sharangi means Pradipatikam Sharangin, Sharangi. So Sharangi is one who always holds in his hand the Sharanga Dhanuhu. So we just saw yesterday in this, because in the Sutram, Tatasya Asti Asmin Iti Matup, that Iti, because of iti, this comes in vishesheshu. So bhumadi vishayeshu bhavanti, special thing. So we just saw yesterday that dando astyasya dando astyasya dandi. I think we can take Sharangi the same way. The one sambandhe sanyoge, one who always has the Sharanga Dhanu in his hand. And the steps also are given here. If you look down here, it's just the same thing. The good thing is that these documents are being very useful. So when I prepare these notes, it's very easy. I just take one of these because we are covering so many topics now. So, okay, let me just find that. We derived the form then. This is straightforward. Okay, the system Ata ini Tanau. If you have look at the number 52115, this is in the Adhikar of the Ditaha, also Nya Pratipadikat. So if you have a Adantam Pratipadikam, then the Pratyaya ini or tan can be used matvarte in the sense of matup, tadasyastyasminiti matup. Adanta pradipadikat matvarte ini tanau tadita pratyayau vastaha. Option. Of course, you can use matup also can be used. So we can use vastaha, you can use the vakyam also. So dando asyastiti dandi or dandikaha or dandavan. So you can say sharangin, sharangikaha, sharangavan, but this is the most common form used, dandi. So the steps are straightforward. Tadasyasti, the tad is pratama ekavachanam. So if you do pratamantam and then add the pratyaya ini. It's a good news. Tadita is once you add the pratyaya, it's straightforward to derive the forms. So we get pratyaya ini, aluvandalope in, and then pradipadiga sanya vakrit tadita samasascha supluk, and as usual angam gets the bhasanya by yachibham yasyeti cha. done this many times. As always remember that when you add the pratyaya, angam has to get the bhasanya or the padasanya, and accordingly we get the operations. Is that you, Ven?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ven, a little bit late. Okay, we just on the first shloka. Okay, we'll give you good welcome. So we just derive the form Sharangin.
Oh,
So Dandin comes like that, and then when you take Dandin plus Su, you get the sutram Saucha, which is Anuji's adhikar of Upada Dirgha. So we get Saucha and become Dandin. Dandi, finally get Dandi. Okay. I mean, this is, we had this in daily example many times in daily examples. Sutram Saucha. And of course, Nakar Lopaha, Nalapadikantasya, and we get the final form. Okay, so that is what Sharangin. So then, what does the sloka become then? So this Setuhu, which Rama had it built by the monkeys, it was as if the Sheshanaga had arisen from the lower region for Sapnaya, for the purpose of giving rest to Vishnu. Let's look at the Tika. So Saha Ramaha, as I pointed out, is that when you have a pronoun, don't leave it. Always identify which is the noun behind it. Pronouns which is called Sarva was what Panini calls Sarvadini Sarvanamani, Sarvanama Shabdaha. They don't have their own gender number case, so here we have to somebody or something is dictating the pronoun. So that is in this case Ramaha from the context. Then Lavanam Ksharam Ambho Yasya Asao. This is Bahuvri Samasa. It is this Sagaraha. It is that Asau Sagaraha. Yasya Lavanam Ksharam Ambha. Pradipadikam Ambhas. Ambhas is neuter Pradipadikam. So that which has salty water. You see that which has salty water, straight for Samasaha. Now I think we are getting some more confidence now. At least we'll be able to look at the Tika, not be too afraid of it, and take at least some basic concept like Yasya Saha when you see it has to be Bahuvri Samasaha. Of course, we did it in great detail in the Wednesday class. Already we're done. So, Lavanam Bhaha. I think there's a typo. I think this is a typo here because it should be Lavanam Bhaha. Because it's Lavanam Bhas Pratipadikam. Like Chandramas become Chandramaha. So, the Pratama Ekvachanam will be Chandramaha. Of course, Lavanam Bhasi is Saptam Ekvachanam. It should be Lavanam Bhaha. This is a typo here. So, Lavanam Bhaha. Tasmin Lavanabdhav Abdhi. So he says, he takes the word Abdhi, Sagaraha. Of course, Tasmin is Tasmin Lavanabdhav. Sutram is Torli. Takara takes the Torli, Tavargaha. When it is. So let's look at the Sutram. This is some practice for us. Sutram Torlihi Sutram. So if we take this one, Torlihi. When the la follows, it becomes Savarna with that. Torlihi. So that will be, it's a Sandhi Sutram which we have used, but we haven't seen for a little while now. Let's see what number it is. Torlihi. It's 8460 Torlihi. 8460 Torlihi. Let's look at that. It's a very simple Sandhi rule. So yes, one no. So Torlihi 8460 Torlihi. So here Tavargasya lakare pariprasavarna adeshaha. So we get Tallayaha Vidvam Likati. Same thing here. So Tasmin Lavanam Bhasi. Let me get my page back. Okay, Lavanabdhav, Klavagaihi, Prayojjaihi. Okay, Prayojjaihi. Because what we saw, see these commentaries always use the proper technical terms. Tat Prayojako Hetushcha, we saw that. Tat Prayojako Hetushcha. So Prayojakaha is the causator, one who's causing. And Prayojjaha is one who's being made to do something. So the Vanaraha, Plavagaha, Prayojjaha. And Prayojakaha is Ramaha. So Prayojakaha is one, Prayojayati, the Prayojakaha. Prayojakaha is one who causes somebody else to do something. And the one who's being caused to do, he is the Prayojyaha. So Prayojjaihi, Plavagaihi. Now, Sharanginaha Vishnu, we talked about that. Sapnaya Shayanaya, kind of straightforward. Sapna doesn't only mean to dream, it means to relax, to sleep, to take rest. Rasatalat, Patalat, we also talked about that. Unmagnam Utthitham. as if it had arisen from there. Shesham ivasthitam. It was situated, it was standing, it was situated there, like as if the Sheshanaga had come from the Patalaha. Setum bandhayamasa. Let's look at a couple of grammatical points here quickly before we take the translation. And here is that, let's form the form magna. Magna. So what happens is that the too much jo shuddha is a dhatu. So means to immerse, is to plunge. Immerse or plunge in water. Unmagna is to come out of water. To come out of water. So magnam is to be immersed in water or to be immersed in something. Unmagna is to come out of the water. So mush anubandha lope we get by adiragni to davaha 135. Upadesha jananasikayit. Then pratyakta comes by sutram nishtha, and then taktavatu nishtha, and this is kartaryartha. As we remind you, this is very important, sutram 3472, which is the gatyartha karmaka. So these akarmaka dhatu, to plunge or to come out, that is akarmaka usage. So they will be kartaryarthe. Like we say ahamatra sthitaha, etc. I'm situated here. So balakaha suptaha. So these will not be in the passive. They will be, because there's no object when it is intransitive. It will be kartaryarthe. So it is kartaryarthe as if Shesha had come up. So it's not like, so he is the doer, is the active sense. Just derive this form, anubandha lopa hava lashak patadhyate. And then this dhatu is in the list of dhatus in 7 to 10. Anudattopadesha. We saw in great detail in the Saturday class. We saw that already 7 to 10. It's a list of dhatus which end in a consonant. The sutram is anudat ekacha upadesha anudatta. This is in nishedha. The idagamaha is praptaha by ardhadhatukasya valadehe. This sutram does in nishedha. And there, which dhatus are anudattu padeshaha? Those are listed out in this what's called this karikaha. So there is the mashja. So janteshu tyaja nijir bhaja bhanja bhuja brashja mashja. So dhatu mashja is the anudattu padeshaha. So keep this list handy at all times at 7 to 10, which is 7 to 10 list. So these dhatus, they don't allow any idagamaha. So we get no idagamaha, and then what happens is that okay, now 7160, let's look at what 7160 is. That 7160 says that mashchi nashor jhali. So when you have because num agamaha, mashchi nashor jhali, these two dhatus, I'll give you a Gita example also quickly, but 7160 brings in the num agamaha. If you want to do some homework, look at these rules in detail. In the class we cannot do in that much detail. It says that num sya, so mashchi nashi iti etayorangayoho jalado pratyay, right? Num syat. So when jaladi pratyay is there is dhatu mashcha and nash they take. So comes in Bhagavad Gita at the very end of the Gita. Nashoshasi vinangshasi yadahankaramashritya nayotsiti manyase mitthesha vavasayaste praktistam niyokshati sabhavajena kaunteya nibaddhasvena karmana kartunnechasi yanmohat karishyasya vashopitata ishwarasara bhutanam. Here it is, vinangshasi dhatu nash, you will be destroyed. Vinangshasi, that is the num agama in Gita by this sutram. Mashchi nashor jhali. So num agama. Now normally num agama is placed where midacho antyat paraha, after the last ach in the term, midacho antyat paraha. So what we have now, we have makara, akara, sakara, jakara. That's the angam. So num agamaha should normally would have come after the akara of this makara uttarvati akaraha. Tasmat paraha num bhavet. So it num should come after this akara, which is after makara. But it is a vartikam. It says maschyarantyat purvam numam icchanti anushanga sanyogadi lopartham. But this is the special case where the angam is maschya, dhatu maschya. Then rather than putting the num agamaha after the last vowel, it is put prior to the last letter, which is before the jakaraha, after the sakaraha. So this Vartikam under 1147, Viducho Antyat Paraha, says that Maschir Antyat Purvam. So prior to the last letter. Numam Icchanti. So the scholars desire the Numagamaha to come before the last letter, not after the last vowel. Anushanga Sanyoga Adi Lopartam. What is that now? Well, we will understand what. If you look at the next few sutras, you will see what it means. Is that it says the Vidya Anubandha Lopaha by Upadeshana Nasikait Halantyam, and then the Nakara takes Lopaha by Aniditam Halopadhayaha Kiniti. Aniditam Halopadhayaha Kiniti. Aniditam Halopadhaya Kiniti. So what is it? So this is the this Nakaraha needs to be an upadha to apply this sutram. Aniditam halupadhayaha kiniti. 6.4.24. If you see, put the numagamaha prior to that, then it will not will not get the correct form, because to apply the 6.4.24 says what? Aniditam halupadhayaha kiniti. So the I'm sorry, 6.4.24. 6.4.24. Aniditam. So if the dhatu is not an idit, this dhatu is an odit, not idit. Halaha upadhaya. Nakara, the angam should end in a hal, and nakara should be upadha prior to that. Nakara should be upadha prior to that. So, and the pratyaya should be falling, should be kit or nit. And nakara takes lopaha. Anuvritti of na lopa comes from the prior sutram. So if you have an angam ending in a hal, and the upadha is an akaraha, and it does not come from the ikara as an it, and the pratyaya following is kit or nit, this nakara takes lopaha. So what we had mas na ja ta. So then we can now apply aniditam halupadhaya kiniti, and then after that we will get the sko sanyogadyo rantecha. Sko sanyogadyo rantecha. So we get the sakaraha, which is the beginning of a sanyogaha, jali padante, followed by jal letter, takes lopaha. Sko sanyogadyo rantecha. Skoho. So sakara kakaraha, beginning of a sanyogaha. The sanyoga is followed by jal or it is padante. Then that's sakara kakara yoho lopasya. So that, and then finally we get, not finally yet, but we get the form chohokuhu, jali padante. So jakara becomes gakaraha, and then finally we get the oditascha. Oditascha means dhatu as okara as an it. Dhatu as okara as an it. Then the nishtha takara becomes nakaraha. You know the section which we have in the Ashtadhyayi, which is Radhabhyam nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. Nishtha takara becomes nakaraha. In that section we have sutram oditascha. Oditascha. If dhatu is odit, has okara as an it. So all these it letters which are put by Panini, he always tags all these dhatus so they can take certain operations. So any dhatu which is an odit, nishtha takara becomes nakaraha. Then we got form magna. Now appreciate the sequence here, by the way. Is that to apply this sko sanyogadyo rantecha as well as chohokuhu, we need jali padante. Should be a jal letter. So they come before this sutram oditascha. You understand? Because if you make the nakara even before that, nakara is not a jal letter. Nakara is not a jal letter. So that has to come after we apply this ko sanyogadyo rantecha as well as oditascha. So this is the intelligence of Panini. As I mentioned in the class, this Tripadi section of Ashtadhyayi really shows the intelligence of Panini. As I say, this is one of the heights of human intelligence, is the Ashtadhyayi of Panini. How he puts all these sutras, because there's so many interactions, and we have to watch out for all these, the order. Because in the Tripadi section, we cannot look back. So if you made the Nakara Adesha first, we could not apply this course Sanyogadyo Rantecha as well as the Chohokuhu. So we have to first apply these two and then make Oditascha. So one more time, Dhatu was tu mashjo, Pratyak Turkim, iske Kartari Arthe, because we have the Akarmaka Dhatu over here. Then the Anudat Ekachupatishअनुदात्tat will do the in nishedha because janteshu dhatu masht is in that list. Then numagamaha by mashtinashu or jali. This is an interesting form, isn't it? We get to look at so many rules just driving one form, magna. So vayam sarve vyakarana shastre nirmagnaha. We are all immersed in vyakaranam. Vyakarana shastre nirmagnaha vayam sarve. Idam rupam drishtva. So looking at this form, we can plunge into vyakaranam. So mashji is especially in this sutram. So it says that when followed by jaladi pratyaya, it's a numagamaha. So we get the numagama here, and then by the vartikam, mashcherantyat purvam numichanti anushanga sanyogadi lopartham. So this puts the numagama over here rather than after. Normally we would have had the miduchantyat paraha. Instead we get the antyat purvam, and then we can apply of course anubandha lopaha. Aniditam halupodhaya kiniti nakar lopaha. Then skos sanyogadyo rantecha we get, and after that we get chohokuhu, and then we apply oditascha. Remember, to apply 6424, we require this nakara here to be the penultimate. So we need that nakara to be in place over there. We cannot use 6424. So if you want to practice, you can practice this prakriya. Look at, of course, study 7 to 10, study 7 160, and then along with this vartikam. And after that, look at Anaditam Halupadaya Kiniti, Skos Sanyogadyarantecha, and Oditascha. The other form in the, so Unmagna, of course, the Yurunasike Nunasikova. So this is the Nakaradeshaha. And then in the commentary, we have the word Uttita. This we have seen this in the class before. I just did a copy paste from a prior class. So Shtagati Nivruttau. Then what happens? Dhatuvadeshasaha. We get Sakaradeshaha. When Sakaradesha comes, we use Nimittapaye Naimitikasyapyapayaha. So the Thakaraha reverts back to a Thakaraha. That Thakara came because of the Nimittam Shakaraha. Nimittam is gone. When the cause is gone, the effect is also gone. Nimittapaye Naimitikasyapyapayaha. So Thakarasisthane Thakaraha. Sorry, Thakarasisthane Thakaraha. Punaragachyati. And then we get Sthita by using Sutram. Dyati Syati Masthamittikiti. The example Amitabha, Amita. So this sutram is Dyati Syati Masthamittikiti. These dhatus Dyati Syati Mastha, they take the Ikara Adesha Tadokiti, Takaradi Kit Pratyaya. Pratyaya here is Kta, of course. So we get the Ikara Adesha Alontyasya, so it becomes Sthita. This is also Kartari Arthe by 3472. The Sandhikaram between Ud and Sthita, because we get the Ud gets the Pradayaha, Upasarga Kriya Yoge Gatishcha, gets the Gatisanya, and then Kugati Pradayaha from a Gatisamasaha, and then Kharicha, Takaradesha, Charradesha, Takaraha, and then comes 8461. Udasthastambhayo. So so it is 8461 says Udasthastambho Purvasya. So when the star stambh, they follow the upasarga ud, which is now in this case it's in a compound, so it is Gatisanya, then it gets the Pura Savarna Adesha. So this Sakara is a Mahapranaha. It is a Mahapranaha, and it's a Karkasha Varnaha. So it takes the Thakara, Dvitiya Varnaha. So it takes Thakara Adesha, becomes Utthita. Then what happens is that Jaro Jari Savarne. You get an optional elision of a Jar letter, which is followed by Savarna Jar letter, and if a Hal precedes, so Jaro Jari Savarne. So if you have Hal Jar, and the two Jars are Savarna with each other. Of course, every letter is Savarna with itself. Every letter, every Varna is going to be Savarna with itself. So that's kind of obvious that every letter is Savarna with itself. So we got Tha. It's going to be Savarna with itself. So Jaro Jari, we have a Hal preceding, and then a Jar followed by Savarna Jar. Then the middle one takes Pakshika Lopaha. Optionally becomes utthita. Utthita. So here, sutram here was jati syati mastha mittikiti. Then we apply ud plus thita by gatischa kugati pradayah, and then make kharicha. Then udasta stambho purvasya, and then jarojari savarne utthita. When we don't do this jarojari savarne, form will be utthita. So utthita or utthita. And then plavagaihi. Now this is the interesting thing here, which is now we say when we studied the Bala Ramayanam, it says nalam karayamasa setum. I think something like that comes in the Bala Ramayanam. So now that time we had a dvitiya ekvachanam. Dvitiya ekvachanam. Now here we have the titiya bahuvachanam. So could we have said plavagan api? Can we say plavagan instead of plavagaihi? The question is that the anikarta, what vibhakti does he take when the prayojaka, when the hetu comes in? So that is the question here. In English, it takes mostly dvitiya only. Like the Ramaha made the monkeys build the bridge. If you take it like that, Ramaha made the monkeys build the bridge. We can also say Ramaha got the bridge built by the monkeys. So that's what it happens. I'm looking at the Bala Ramayana. We have studied this. So this is Nalam. That I'll give the shloka number over here. We have taken Nalam Setum Akarayata. This is number 80. Shloka number 80 in Bala Ramayana. Bala is the first adhyaya of the Ramayana. Nalam Setum Kara. So Ramaha. Ramo Nalam Setum Akarayata. That time it didn't say Nalena. It said Nalam. Nalam. So it is Dvitiya Ekvachanam. That may be Tritiya Bhuvachanam. Now what is this thing over here? Now because remember that as we just said that the Tatrayojako Hetushcha, when we have a causator, he has the Kartru Sanya, and so does the one who is a non-causative doer. So the monkeys as well as Ramaha. Ramasyapi Kartru Sanya, Manaranamapi Kartru Sanya vartate. Both are Kartru Karto. But which is Anabhita, which is connecting with the verb, is Ramaha. So he will default to Prathama Vibhakti. So this is the what I'm talking about is 231. Pani says Anabhite. Anabhite means not spoken about already by the verb or the participle. When he says Bandhayamasa, that Bandhayamasa is third person singular, it is telling us something about Ramaha. It's telling us that the doer of this action is a Pratham Purusha Ekvachanam. So now that's why we know it's Rama. So Rama becomes Abhita. Then we just default to when it become Abhita, then we default to Prathama Vibhakti by this one. Pratipadika Artha Linga Parimana Vachana Matre Prathama. Now what about the monkeys now? Now they are the Kartaraha and they are the doers, but they are Anabhite. Because the verb Bandhayamasa not telling us anything about the monkeys. It could have been Nalena Bandhayamasa, Plavagai Bandhayamasa. Bandhayamasa will not change. That means that the Plavagaihi is Anabhita. So now, then what should happen is that we should have had Kartrukaranayos Tritiya. We get Tritya Vibhakti. So Plavagaihi Bandhayamasa. But hold on for a second. Now what happens is that would be the default Tritya will come in. But when it's a causative form, Panini has a couple of special rules, which is this is takes for homework. It says that this is Anikarta. So what happens to the Karta? Who's the Anikarta? Who was the Karta in the non-causative sense? So when the causation was not there, we had the form Plavagaha Setum Babandhuhu. That's the Anikarta. Now what happens to the Anikarta when the Prayojakaha comes? It says Gati Buddhi Pratyavasanartha Shabda Karma Akarmakanam Anikarta. So if the dhatu is one of these meanings, so in the sense of motion, buddhi, in the sense of thinking or understanding, pratyavasan in the sense of consuming, or eating, drinking something. In any of these meanings, any dhatu in these meanings, or shabda karma means like I think this is teaching the Veda basically. Shabda karma means I think in the teaching, chanting Vedas. Akarma kana, any akarmaka dhatu. So if all of these dhatus, they will get the karma sanya. And then of course karmani dvitiya. For example, balakaha vyakaranam adhite. Guruho balakam, not balakena, but balakam vyakaranam adhyapayati. You can say that. Now you can say Ramaha vanam gacchati. But Kaikeyi Ramam vanam gamayati. She makes Rama go to the forest. Kaikeyi makes him go to the go. So Kaikeyi Ramam vanam gamayati. Not Ramena, but Ramam. Because gatyartha. So gati buddhi pratyavasanartha it is so. You can say Gavaha Jalam pibanti. The cows drink water. Shri Krishna Gaha Jalam payayati. Shri Krishna makes them drink water. So now that became Gaha, didn't become Gobi, became Gaha. So now but do we have that right now? What do we have? We have Bandhayamasa. Doesn't look to be one of these meanings. Before we go ahead, let me read you the meaning of this. So it's very important, Sutram 1452. Take it for homework if you want to look at some more details. So in these dhatus, in these meanings, then what happens is that the anikarta gets the karma sanya. Anikarta gets the karma sanya. He says that of the verbs having the sense of motion, that is the gati, the knowledge or information, that is the buddhi, and eating, and verbs having some literally work for their object, means that basically it is teaching by verbally teaching, and of intransitive verbs, any intransitive verbs also. For example, ratham sthapaya mechyuta, ratha tishtati, but Shri Krishna ratham sthapayati. Not you don't say rathena sthapayati, ratham sthapayati, because this dhatu stha is akarmaka dhatu. So any akarmaka dhatu also. So now we have a dhatu bandh. So keep this sutram in mind, very important sutram. This tells you those dhatus in these meanings. Then the anikarta will get the karma sanya when the prayojakaha comes. The example we just saw is that Kaikeyi Ramam vanam gamayati. And he says Shri Krishna gaha jalam payayati, and and so on and so forth we saw. So now okay, but there's a special sutram down the next one, rukroranitrasyam. The dhatu is ru or kru. Then the karma sanya is optional. Rukroranitrasyam. So that's why in the Ramayanam we have nalam setu makarayata. When dhatu kru was there, could have been nalena or nalam. Nalam setu makarayata. But right now we have dhatu bandh. It's not coming in any of these gati, buddhi, pratyavasana means to eat or drink, shabda karma is to verbally teach, akarmaka is not there. So it is not going to get the karma sanya either necessarily or optionally. So then what happens is that we could just go back to the tritiya by kartakarnayos tritiya. So you want to take for homework, you're going to study 1452, 53. So in English it almost becomes dvitiya. He made them build the bridge. So any meaning we always make dvitiya only. But here what happens is that we get by 1452 in those meanings you'll get the karma sanya. And then if dhatu is ru or kru, it gets the optionally gets karma sanya. There's some vartikani also under this one, which is more complicated. But right now we can keep it simple. We don't have that, so we just choose kartakarnayos tritiya. Okay, you ready, Van, for us? Translation. Nagaraj is also here. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's try. So a lot of vyakaranam, but let's go to the translation now. Okay, he. What is he? Saha. Caused to be constructed.
All right, that is the Bandhayamasa.
A bridge
Setum.
Setum. By the monkeys,
Plavagaihi.
Plavagaihi. Plavena gacchati plavagaha. Plavagaha. Did I do this plavagaha? We have used this sutra many times before. I didn't, because it takes a lot. Yeah, plavagahi. Okay. Plavagaha, we have done this in the class before many times. This sutram is the, let me see, if we have done this exact form before. Have we done this form before in this class? I know we've done very similar form. The pratyaya will be da, because you get the T lopaha. So let's see, have we done plavagaha in this form, in this class? Oh yes, sir, we have done it. Here it is. These documents are very, very useful now. We've done so many forms we have done. I just copy paste. Today I was doing the summaries. You just copy paste most of them now, which is good. So plavena gacchati plavagaha. So those who plavas dhatu, plu, plava can mean a boat also. He's not a boat because it comes in Gita. Sarvam jnana plavena iva. So plava naiva, but sampluto odake comes in Gita. Plu, dhatu plu is to float, to jump, to swim, to cross across. So by jumping, those who move by jumping. So plava plus ta, pratyaya da comes. This is upapada samasaha. By upapadam mating, then tatra upapadam saptamistham. This is a vartikamana 3-48. Da prakarane anyesh vidrishyate. So plavena gacchati. And when the pratyaya da comes, you get the T lopaha. By the vyakhyanam ditva samarthya vasyapi ter lopaha. The plavagaha. So if you want to practice, we have done this in the class before. Look at 3-48. Look at the vartikam. Da prakarane anyeshu drishyate. And then this upapada is there. Various upapada. Anyeshopi upapadeshu. So when various kind of upadas are there, this dhatu gam can take the pratyaya da, and we get the 364-143 T lopaha. Okay, so plavagaha, vandaraha. By the monkeys over the briny ocean, which is
Lavana ambhasi.
So lavanam ambha yasya so. A bridge that appeared.
Iva.
Appeared like is Eva. So appeared like the snake Sheshaha. Shesham. That rose. Unmagnam. From the nether regions. Rasatalad. In order to, is a Chaturthi Vibhakti, in order to become the bed. This. Swapnaya.
In bed there is no such thing.
Yeah, I think
to lie down.
In order to give rest, in order to facilitate the sleeping or the resting of. So that is the Shaya Swapnaya of Vishnu Sharanginaha. The Sharangin to lie. He says for Sharangin to lie down upon. He says that to lie down upon. So that is the literal translation. Okay, now that you are here, let's see the next shloka. Tenotirya patha lankam rodhayamasa Pingalaihi dvitiyam hemaprakaram kurvadbhiriva vanaraihi tenotirya pathalankam rodhayamasa plavangaihi dvitiyam hemaprakaram pingalaihi dvitiyam hemaprakaram kurvadbhiriva vanaraihi. What are padacheda for us, man? Go for it. Quite easy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Tena.
Uttirya. Very good. Patha. Lankam.
Rodhayamasa.
Pingalaihi. Dvitiyam. Hemaprakaram. Kurvadbhi. Very good. Iva Vanaraihi. Which Tingantam Padam here, let's attack that. Rodhayama. Exact same usage.
Yes.
It's a Rud. Dhatu Rud is to besiege, to constrain, to block, just obstruct. This case is to mean to besiege. So he Lankam Rodhayama, same thing. Vanaraihi, exact same usage. We can go to all the same logic which we just had, is that he caused Lanka to be sieged by the monkeys. So if what would be the Aniyavastha, what do you think? You can want to try? Remove the niche and see. Just so remove Ramaha. And then, well, the interesting thing is that before we even go there, we have two Tena. No, Tena is not coming into the equation here. Because Tena Uttirya. That Tena is Tena. So,
Tena is a Setu.
Very good. Setu Margena. So, Tena Patha. Tena Patha. So, Setu Margena. So, by that Titya is Karnarthe. Karnartha Titya. By means of that, using that. See, Kartakaranayo Titya. We just saw that. This Karnartha Titya. Titya Karnarthe. Sense of instrument. So, by means of that, having crossed, okay, then he caused Lanka to be seized by the monkeys. So this, you want to try the Aniyavastha, Vishwan? In the Aniyavastha, we will have the Vanaraha as the Kartaraha, because now Rama has got out of the equation now. So Vanaraha, and then Lankam will stay as Lankam, and Dhatu Rudh without the niche. So what will the form be? Vanaraha, Lankam, Rurudhu, I'm sorry, Rurudhu, Rurudhu. We have to maintain the same lakara, lit lakara only. But we will not be Anuprayaka anymore. Anuprayaka only come in the causative, we saw that. Anuprayaka only comes in the causative. So if you remove the niche, it becomes Vanaraha, Lankam, Rurudhu. So the monkeys besieged Lanka. When you bring Rama in the picture, Ramaha Vanaraihi Lankam Rodhayamasa. So he got Lanka besieged, he had it besieged by the monkeys. So the same logic here, we look at 1452, and this Ruddha will not fit in any one of these meanings. Gati, Buddhi, Gati is motion. Well, Gati is, yes, doesn't fit quite very well in motion. Because the meaning of dhatu rud exactly is not to move, really, it's to obstruct, so to see. So yeah, buddhi is to understand, so that's not there. Pratyavasana is to consume. Shabda karma is to teach verbally, we don't have that. Akarmaka also we don't have, because clearly Lanka is the karma, we see that, so akarmaka is not there. We don't have dhatu ru or kru also we don't have. We have dhatu rud. So this doesn't apply. So then by the default Kartakarnayosthitiya, we get Vanarai. So exactly the same steps as the last example. So okay, so Rodhayamasa Karta is Rama. He is a Hetu. So he is a Prayojakaha. Tat Prayojako Hetushcha. So he's a Karta is also the Hetu Sanya. So then we get this from Rodhayamasa. And then but before that we have a clause Uttirya. Uttirnaha. Uttirya means having crossed. Uttirna also means so parikshayam uttirnaha. So he passed the exam. Means you go across successfully. Uttirya. So Uttirya means, let's remind ourselves, the sutra is 3421. Samana kritikyo purva kale. Pratyak tva comes in. Tva takes lyapa adesha by 7137, which is samasanyang purvek tvo lyap. I hope by this time you're sick of hearing this from me. I must have said this hundreds of times in this class. Is Samakritakyo Purvakale 3421 7137 Samasanyang Purvekatva Lyapa Adesha in a Samasaha. Uttirya, of course, the Gati Samasa, the Upasarga, which gets the Gati Sanya here, is the Ut. So remember Pradeha, Upasarga, Kriya Yoga, Gatishcha. So 1460. So the Pradis, when they're Kriya Yoga, they get the Sanya Upasarga and Gati. The Gati Sanya is used to form Samasas by Kugati Pradeha 218. I'm going a little bit fast because I'm sorry, but we have done this many times. And of course, we also have examples in the daily examples also of this. So Uttirya. So we'll derive this form in the document in a second. But Tena Patha. By that means, by that way. Patha is Marga. Tena Margena. Then the commentary says, first of all, the commentator supplies Ramaha. Because this Rodhayamasa requires a Karta, of course. It is, and that's the Hetu. So, Sandarbhat, so we get the Karta as Ramaha. By Anuvritti of Ramaha comes down there. So, from the Prakaranam we understand Rama is the Karta, but he nicely supplies that. So, Ramaha, Tena Patha, Setu Margena, Uttirya, he says Sagaramiti Sheshaha. You have to supply Uttirya means having crossed what? Having gone across by that way. using that way means having gone across the ocean. So Sagaram Uttiryati Sheshaha. So of course he crossed the ocean. That's his supply. Sheshaha means that is to be supplied. So Adhyarutam. You have to supply that. Then Pingalaihi Suvarna Varnaihi. Pingala is like brownish, tawny brownish Pingala. So Pingalaihi Suvarna Varnaihi. So golden he says. So he clarifies not really brown, it means golden. Ataeva. And for that Ataeva means therefore. Therefore, Ataeva means therefore itself. Therefore, Dvitiyam Hemaprakaram. Is Hemaprakaram, there is a typo here. This should be in bold. This should be in bold because the words in shloka are in bold. So this should be in bold over here. Hemaprakaram kurvadbhir iva sthitaihi. So they were as if causing, making a second wall around Lanka. Lanka already had a golden prakara, a surrounding wall, and these monkeys, when they besieged Lanka, they were as if making a second golden wall surrounding Lanka. So Dvitiyam Hema Prakaram Kurvad is of course Shatrandra Pratyaya. We'll derive this form in a second. Kurvadbhi eva Sitaihi. So they were situated as if they were in that position, that they were as if making a second wall around Lanka. Then Vandaraihi Lanka Rodhayamasa. Let's look at some Vyakaranam. So simple sentence was first the Ani Avastha, which is that Pingalaha Vanaraha Lankam Rurudho. Then Ramaha Pingalaihi Vanaraihi Lankam Rodhayamasa. Then there is a second action prior to it. Tena Patha Setu Margena Sagaram iti Adhyarutam Uttirya. And then there's a Iva down there. Iva says that the Iva is, you look at the, again, match the Vibhaktis. It is the Vanaraihi and then Kurvadbhihi. The Kurvadbhihi is taking an object here. So the Upama is this Hemaprakaram Kurvadbhihi. So by these monkeys who were as if making a second golden wall around Lanka. Let's look at some Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam, okay, let us go down here. Let me see which loka we are in here. Kurvadbhi comes in the Devi Mahatmyam. For those of you chant Chandi Patha, just like Bhagavad Gita, the Chandi Patha also has 700 shlokas. It is good for Vyakaranam. These three texts have roughly 700 shlokas. The Bhagavad Gita, the Devi Mahatmyam, Chandi Patha, and also for those who are into Vedanta, Viveka Chudamanihi. It doesn't have 700, I think it's about 600, roughly 600. The level of Vyakaranam is about the same, but different kinds of usages. If you want to practice your Vyakaranam, you can, of course, Gita is our home base. You can also practice after Gita. You can try some form from Devi Mahatmyam. You can also try the Viveka Chudamanihi, get some confidence. This Kurvadbhi comes in Devi Mahatmyam in the very first chapter. Kurvadbhi Satatam Vyam. Okay, look at some Vyakaranam here. This is number 71, and we have here. Okay, 71. So Rodhayamasa is so okay, let's Uttirya. So Tru Plavana Tarana Yoho. This dhatu is to cross, to float, to jump across, to go across. And then Pratyaktva Samakritike Purvakale, Pratyaktva comes in. We form a Gati Samasa with Ud, because as we said, 1460, we get the Gati Sanya by Gatishcha Sutram Gatishcha. Because Pradaya, Upasarga Kriya Yoge, Gatishcha, 1460, Gati Samasaha, and then we say Samasanya Purve Ktvo Lyap. Lyap Adesha Anekachis Sarvasya, because the Adesha is Yakara Akaraha. So you get Anekachis Sarvasya, and then Rubanda Lopa Lashekvatadite Halantyam. And after that, we get the this Tru becomes stir. Tru becomes stir because of the Pratyaya left, first of all, is a Kit Pratyaya now, because Sthanibad Adesho Nal Vidhao. Sthanibad Adesho Nal Vidhao. Because it came in place of Ktva, because Sthanivat Bhava, Lyap also is a Kit. So there's no Guna Adesha, because by Kiniticha, by kniticha, the guna adesha is stopped. Because normally you would have had sarvadhatuka, ardhadhatukayoha, guna adesha. But because the kit pratyaya, the guna adesha is stopped. And when that happens, we can now go for the ruta idhatoha. So rukaranta dhatu takes the ikara adesha, but only if it survives the guna operation, or vruddhi operation. Because the guna operation by sarvadhatuka ardhakayoho is a parakaryam. That is 7.384. So if guna adesha is going to come, then there is no chance for the ruta idhatoho. But if there is no guna adesha, then we use ruta idhatu. Although we might wonder what's the point of making the dhatu rukarantaha, if it's always going to take the ikara adesha, correct? If you're going to do the ikara adesha nityam, tari rukarena kim prayojanam. But that is the condition, is that the guna operation is a parakaryam. That will take first precedence. So that will come ahead of ruta idhatoho. So only if something stops the guna or vruddhi adesha, then comes ruta idhatoho. Then of course uran raparaha, and then we get tir. Now halicha. So vorupadhaya halicha. Vorupadhaya dirgha halicha sutram. Also Anuji's favorite sutram. This you have done in the class many times. This has also been done in daily examples many times. If you want to practice the sutram, just look up the number in the website and you'll get a lot of examples. So if you have a dhatu ending in a repha or a vakaraha followed by a hal letter, then the upada becomes dirgha. So vorupadha dirgha halicha. So 8 to 77. Look at it quickly, 8 to 77. So if you want to do some homework, see in this class, we cannot do all the rules in that much detail. If you want to do some homework, take these numbers and practice some more. So, refvantasya dhatoho, upadhayaha, iko dirgho jhali. Hali. Because halicha sutram. Refvantasya dhatoho. There's a typo, I think there's a typo, should be dhatoho. There's a typo here. Dhatoho, upadhayaha, iko dirgha hali. So what we have is that because this rukara was of a dhatu, in place of rukara came the ikara adesha uran raparaha. So this rep also belongs to dhatu now, because it came in place of the rukaraha, which of the dhatu is rukaraha, followed by a hal, becomes upada dirgha, becomes uttir, and then uttirya by kharicha. So it's uttirya. So one more time, this is samasanyam purve, saman kartukayo purva kale, then gatisanya, kugati pradayah, samasanyam purve kto lyap, anubandha lopaha. Then we get ruta idhataho uran raparaha, and before that we stop the guna adesha because of kinitcha, and then halicha dirgha, then kharicha. No pathin. This pathin sutram is 7188. 718 bhasyater lopaha. This is a rare sutram which prescribes an operation when the angam has the bhasanya, which is not in the bhasyadhikara. This sutram is a rare sutram. It's prescribing an operation when the angam has the bhasanya. And those normally come in the adhikara of bhasya. It starts from 64129. But this one does not come there, because Panini requires the anuvritti of pati, mati, rubukshamat. So these pratipadikani says bhasya ter lopaha. So it's pratipikam pathin. It comes in Bhagavad Gita. Vimudo brahmanaf pati bhasya ter lopaha. So when you chant the Bhagavad Gita next time, when you chant this shlokaha, Arjuna vacha kachinna bhavibrashtash chinna brahmanashchati ayatishadhayo peto yogachrita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhing kang gating krishna gacchati kachinna bhavibrashtash chinna. It comes in chapter 6. I'll give you the sloka over here. Arjuna vacha ayatishadhayo peto yogachrita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhing kang gating krishna gacchati kachinna bhavibrashtash chinna brahmivanashyati apatishto mahabaho vimuda brahmanaf pati. This pati, same thing. Bhasya ter lopaha. Next time we chant this shlokaha, vimuda brahmanaf pati. Think of bhasya ter lopaha. So Gita 6.38. Gita 6.38. Of course, that's Saptami Ekavachanam. Right now we have Titya Ekavachanam, but in either case we use Bhasya tail. Angam Gashta Vasanya by Yachibham. Yachibham. Okay. So you get T Lopaha means the in Bhaga takes Lopaha, and then of course Chutu, and then becomes 1 second. Kurvat Visatatam Yam. Yes, thank you, Venkatji. Yes. Samyak Vyavashilastaihi. Kurvat Visatatam Yam. Sanchita Stoti Dukkhena. Krayang Kosho Gamishyati. You know, when the Vaishya and the Raja are having the conversation. This is chapter 1 of Devi Mahatmyam. Kurvat Bhi. So this Vaishya complains, you know, that that my sons are not behaving their bad habits. Kurvat Visatatam Yam. So they are always squandering the money. So Vayam Satatam Vayam Kurvadbhihi means they're always squandering their money, you know. Sanchas Soti Dukkhena Kshayam Kosho Gamishyati. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. This is the Raja. The Raja also is wondering that he collected all this wealth, you know. Sanchita Soti Dukkhena. Ati Dukkhena Sanchita. Jana Sanchaya. Dhana Sanchaya. So means he had his treasury, which he amassed with lot of trouble. And now all his ministers and other people are now going to squander their wealth. Asamyak vyayashilaihi kurvat bisatatam vyayam. Anyway, this is Devi Mahatmyam, chapter number 1. So, vyayam satatam vyayam kurvat bihi. Vyayam means they're only spending. Satatam kurvat bihi means doing spending. So the Raja says that all my wealth is going to be squandered by these people now that I'm not there. So this is the Dhanasya Gatihi, right? This is how money creates all these problems. So the Raja is wondering what will happen to his money, and the Vaishya is wondering what happens to his money. But this statement is made by the Raja. He says that all these ministers, etc., who are now going to be spending all my money, always making expenditures, in English, making expenditures. Vyayam kurvadbhihi. Okay. Thank you. So Rudhira is Dhatu Rudhir Avarane is to enclose. In this case, to besiege. Same thing at the pratyaya nich by hetu maticha, and then anubandha lopaha get the form rodhi by puganta lagupatasya cha, get the dhatu sanya vasanadyanta dhatavaha, and the same steps as the prior shlokaha. So just like we had bandhayamasa rodhayamasa, and then the kurvat are similarly same deriving as kurvanti instead of G with the pratyashatru. See, I said all these forms have been, we already use this many times. So this kurvadbhi is what we'll go to that in a second, and then we'll just look at this one. Hemnaha prakaram. So it's a golden, made of gold. Heman pradipadikam. Heman is gold. Heman pradipadikam. So hemnaha prakaram is a golden wall around Lanka. Okay, kurvadbhi, before we go to translation, is that we derive this from kurvanti. So kurvanti, remove the anti, add the earth. This is a shortcut, right? The shortcut to make a shatranta pratipadikam is you take the same steps as when we add the pratyaya ting and ting pratyaya ji, and then remove the anti or ati as the case may be, and add at. Why does this work? Because the ji pratyaya after jo antaha is also a hasanya of sarvadhatukam. It is apit sarvadhatukam. It's ajadi apit sarvadhatukam. So between shatru pratyaya and the pratyaya ji after jo antaha, they are both beginning with a aj akaraha. They are both apit and they are both hasanya of sarvadhatukam. So whatever step the angam takes, whatever operation the angam takes in the pratyaya ji follows, generally speaking, it takes the same steps in the pratyaya shatru follows. So if you want to take a shortcut, if we say gachanti, then the shatru and the padi will be gachat, pachanti will be pachat, pashyanti will be pachat, and so on. In fact, in Gita, I told you Gita, my favorite shloka is that pashyan shunvan sushan jigran nashnan gachan sapanshasan. So that is in chapter 5 of Gita. Pralapan visijan grinhan nimishan nimishan napi. So there's a whole list of these, string of them in chapter 5 of Gita. And you can check them out in all of those forms. It comes from here. Pashyan shunvan, so pashyanti, shunvanti, sprishanti, jigranti, ashnanti, gachanti, sapanti, shwasanti. Just remove the anti, add the at. Pralapanti, so pralapanti, visujanti, grihnanti, unnimishanti, And so unmishan, nimishanti, unnimishanti. So all of these forms, is the simple shortcut is remove the anti, add the at. It works most of the time, because one more time, both of them are beginning with the akaraha. Both of them is both means the G and the at. G means Jivanta becomes anti. So if you look at this, if you want, we've done this before. In the prior class, we derived the form November 7. Okay, November 7. I think it might be November 7. Okay, hold on for a second. Okay, November 7. Here it is. No, November 17, is it? Okay, let me look at Kurvantis. Maybe November 17, maybe? I think let's try November 17. I think it must be November 17. Let's see. Is it here somewhere? I know we did this form before. Kurvanti. Must be here somewhere. No. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's try Kurvanti. Kurvanti. Yes, I thought we have. I know we've done this in a prior class. Just find it for you. Kurvanti. It's also come the daily example. We have find it. Huh. I don't know why I put this. Oh, daily example. I'm sorry. This is a daily example. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, good. We have to go over here, not over here. So November 7. Let's go to this one over here. So let's take our daily examples. Let's go to November 7. There's in this daily examples, you have on the right hand side, you have a calendar here. You have a nice calendar. So you can look at nicely over all the daily examples, so you can just move your mouse over that. It'll show you. See, if you go here, it can show you all the daily examples. See, we have Manute, then we have Pinatti, then we have Kuryam, then we have Bunjita, then we have Vidhiyatam, then we have Tanute, then we have Kurvanti. Let's look at Kurvanti. So November 7, not the November 7 class, November 7 daily example. So Kurvanti, Lhatu, Dukrin Karane, all the steps are given in great detail over here. So we add the pratyaya lat, anubandhalopa la, then tipta ji. Instead of adding ji, you will add the pratyaya shatru. So only difference is that instead of adding tipta ji, add the pratyaya shatru by 3 to 124. Lata shatrishana chav pratama samana adhikarane. So in place of lat, lata shatrishana chav. So we can get shatru shanach in the sense of forming is a participle. The present vartamani krudanta prayoga krudantaha. So we form the present participle by pratyaya shatru or shanach. But because of left prasipadam tangana atmanepadam, the dhatu is atmanepadi, then we use shanach. Remaining case is shatru. So this one is ubhayapadi. In this case, they have used the shatru pratyaya. So instead of ji add shatru, anubandha lope will become at. And then we get the tanadikrimya uhu, gana vikaranaha uhu. And then we get the guna adesha sarvadhatkarthaka yoho. And then uran raparaha. And then we get the ataut sarvadhatuke. When the u pratyaya is followed by sarvataka pratyaya, which is kit or nyat, then this kar becomes kur. The akara takes the ukara adesha. Of course, because by sarvadhatukam apit, the ji and the shatru will be nitvat. And then we do the ikoanachi. And we have to remember one thing is that na bha kur churam prevents the halicha. Because here also we have dhatu kur, just like we had the form uttirya. Same thing, dhatu kur is now refanta dhatuhu. And now when we do kurva, so at least, no, I'm sorry, when we do kurva, because once we do the ikoanachi, we get the form kurva, the ukara sisthane vakara adeshaha. So kurva at that time, now kurvanti. So we have a repanta dhatu followed by a hal vakara. Then why not make it kurvanti? Because of the sutram na bha kur churam. So for kur we don't apply halicha. In short, so na bha kur churam stops halicha. So you follow all these same steps. Instead of getting kurvanti, you'll get kurvat. Because instead of ji, we'll have shatru, anubandha lope, lashakvat dite, lashakvat dite, upadeshajana nasikait, we'll get at. So instead of follow all these steps, apply this tanadikrimbhya uho, then sarvadhatkardhaka yoho, gunadesha uran raparaha, then Sarvadhatukam Apit, Atau Sarvadhatuke, and then finally Ikuanachi and no Halicha because of Na Bhakurchuram. If you want to practice this November 7th example, instead of G, use Shatru. Okay, you ready, sir? Translation? When you're ready, go for it. Let's see. Number 71, what we have is that, let us see what we have. Having crossed, what do you want to use for that?
Uttirya.
Samanakritakayo purva kale. Now the simple thing here is that we have Rodhayamasa, the Uttaravartini Kriya, and the Karta for that is Ramaha. It must be the same Karta for Uttirya. Samanakritakayo, remember that, Samanakritakayo purva kale. The ocean is in the commentary.
Bracket.
Yeah, Sagaram iti Sheshaha. By that path, Patha Margena. Pathin Pradipadikam, Pathin. You want to recite the Pathin Pradipadikam for us? When the soup, the table for Pathin, what will be? Panthaha. Right? Panthano, Panthanaha, Panthanam. So you chanted the Purush Suktam in your young days, right, Ben? Nanyaf Pantha Vidyate Yanaya. So Panthaha. So Purush Suktam, Panthaha. So Panthaha, Panthano, Panthanam. Panthano, and then we get the Basanya, becomes Patha, then Patibhyam, etc. So first forms are Panthaha, Prathama Ekvachanam, then Panthanau, Panthanaha, Panthanam, Panthanau, and then after that we get the Patha, Dvitiya Bhuvachanam, then Patha, Titiya Ekvachanam, then Patibhyam, Patibhi, then become Pathe, Patibhyam, Patibhyah, then becomes again, it becomes, so now becomes Pataha, then Patibhyam, Patibhyah, Pataha, then it will become Pathoho, Patham, then Pathi, and then become Pathoho, and then Patisho. So that will be the entire prakriya for the it's a complicated one. But the thing is that so the rules remember here are, if you want to, these specific rules for deriving this form, this pratipadikam, from 7, 1, 85, 86, 87, 88. So those are the forms. And when the angam gets the bhasanya, then it's simple. You just take so the first 5 places are specific, becomes panthaha, panthanau, Panthanaha, and then it becomes Panthanam, Panthanau, then it becomes Patha. So that's how it goes. And so it's good to once in a while to practice these, make sure that we get all the forms we get. So okay, so what we have is by that path is Patha. He caused to be besieged. What will that be?
He in brackets.
Yeah, he is Rama. Correct. Yes, correct. He is Rama.
Let's say cost. We'll go to cost besieged together. Lanka, Lankam.
Lanka is Lankam. Yes, sir.
Cost to be besieged. Rodhayamasa.
Rodhi is to obstruct. But to cause to obstruct. Rodhi. Rodhayamasa. He caused to be besieged by the yellow-colored
monkeys. Pingalaihi.
Vanaraihi. So Pingalaihi is by the yellow colored is Suvarnavarnaihi, and then Vanaraihi is Pankaihi. Who were making? That's the Kurvadbhihi. Kurvadbhihi. Who were as if doing, who were as if constructing, who were as if making. So who formed? As it were? Eva. Another? Dvitiyam. Second. Another.
Golden rampart,
Hemaprakaram. Around that's the rampart is prakaram. This prakaram is a surrounding wall. So rampart around it is the prakaram. Okay. We have about.
Is there reference to the first golden wall around Lanka?
Yes. Of course, the Lanka has been described in Ramayana in great detail. It had a lot of nice things. So one of them was the golden wall around it. Yes. Shivanah Panthanas Santu. Panthanaha. Shivaste Panthanas Santu. Means when somebody goes on a travel. Shivaha. te panthanah santu. So may your travels. So when you're going to travel to India, right? Second year. So Shivaha te panthanah santu. So may your travels be very good, auspicious, without any nirvignaah santu ityartha. There will be no.
Is this Margabandhu Stotram?
No, this is Shakuntalam is quoted by Venkatji is giving me all these tips.
Yeah, I see that.
No, this is the Ashirvachanam. It's like a blessing,
Oh,
Generally, when somebody leaves, we say like,
Yeah.
like have a good trip, right? Have a good trip. So Shivaste Panthanasantu.
Oh, there's a Kanva Maharshi to
To Shakuntala.
Shakuntala?
Yeah, so Shakuntala, he says, when she goes, I guess. So Shivaste Panthanasantu. But it can be used by us also. So have a good trip, basically. So may our travels be, without anything. Okay, thank you, Venkatji. Good to have you in the class. Okay, we have some time left. Let's try this one. Ranah pravavrite tatra bhimaha plavaga rakshasam digvijrumbhita kakutstha paulastya jaya ghoshana. Okay, this is the entire compound. This entire second line is a compound. Okay, Ranaha pravavrite tatra bhimaha plavaga rakshasam digvijrumbhita kakutstha paulastya jaya ghoshana. Ranah pravavrite tatra bhimaha plavaga rakshasam digvijrumbhita kakutstha paulastya jaya ghoshana. Okay, padacheda for us. Second line there's no padacheda. What's the padacheda when? First time also, there's nothing much there, I think. There's no padacheda, I think.
I think there is no padacheda at all.
There's no padacheda.
Tatra Bhimaha Pralava
It's also samastan padam. Plavaga rakshasam.
Rakshasam Dik Vijrumbhita Kakustha
Paulastya
Jaya
Jaya
Ghosh.
Ghoshanaha. Okay. Inside the compound we have Plavaga and Rakshas. Then we have Dig, Vijrumbhita, Kakustha, Paulastya, Jaya Ghoshanaha. What's the verb here is this one, right? Pravavrite. I mean, by this time we know it's a lit lakaraha. Prathama Purusha Ekvachanam Atmane Padam. In fact, we have seen this in many examples already. If we'll go to our examples over here. Like, Pravavrite, we can take it like, one of these over here. Like Lebhe. This, let's do have the steps over here. It's very simple, nothing much here. It is lit lakaraha. Prathama Purusha Ekvachanam. So let me see. Okay. Okay, I didn't put it here, but just the simple steps as usual. Add the lit, lasya, and the ta adeshaha. Then litastajeo resh. We have seen this. In fact, okay, let's go to this example over here. Let's pick up some stems from here. Okay. So here, if we take this, let's take this example, lebhe. Let us not use a special. You know what? Let's not take lebhe. Let's take this one. Let's take chakre. Similar one. So just the steps. Dhatu is vritu vartane. Vrit. So the steps will all be the same. Add the pratyaya lit, then lakaraha, anubandha lopaha, ta adesha, because this is the dhatu vritu vartane. Atmanipadi dhatu. So we take atmanipadam, and then litas tajeo resh. We get the esha adesha, and then in fact. Let me, no. In fact, you know what? This is the interesting thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go to my document over here. And there is one complication here, in fact, which we did in the last Saturday class. Okay. Let's look at this form. Okay. This is okay. In fact, okay, good. I'm have it here. I'll have all the steps over here. Okay, good. This is the Panine Anugraha. So, Pani is waking me up. Hey, wake up. There's a special Vartikam required over here. Okay. But the first steps are the same. Dhatu, lakaraha, parukshe, lit, then the anubandha lopaha, ta adeshaha, litas tajeo reshi rech, esh, anekalchis sarvasya. It says the tala vishaka is an it. That's meant to. So that otherwise, in place of ta when it comes, should not replace only the ending akaraha. Should replace the entire ta pratyaha. So anekalchis sarvasya. That's why Panini puts the tala vishaka as an it. To say replace the entire pratyaya ta, not only the ending akaraha. So we get vrit plus a. Then we get the abhyasa karyam. Remember the pratyaya a, asanyoga lit kit. Asanyoga lit kit is going to be a kit pratyaya. It's going to be a small complication here, but let's go ahead. So we do the litus tajo, liti dhatu anabhyasasya abhyasa karyam vrit. Then we do urat in the abhyasa bhagaha. Ruvarna takes the akara adesha, uran raparaha, haladishesha, vrit a. Now comes a small complication. The complication is that we want to make, in fact, this was done all in detail in the Saturday class. We had the recording from the last class. So here the complication is that the pratyaya A should get the kit sanya, kit should become a kit pratyaya by asanyoga lit kit. Asanyoga lit kit. So if there's no apit lit kit syat, if a lit pratyaya, which is apit, this A is apit because it came plus a place of the, doesn't have any pit anywhere. It should become a kit pratyaya, and then we can stop the guna adesha because puganda laguputasya wants to come and do guna adesha. But that can be stopped by kiniticha if we can make the pratyaya A as a kit. Okay, but now the puganta laguputasya is 7380 is a parakaryam, 7386. So that starts taking a claim to this one. Now the one thing is that, again, we won't do in full detail over here, but parakaryam is stopped by nityakaryam. If one rule applies regardless of the other, it will apply even if it is not a parakaryam, it's puryakaryam. So when the two rules come for operation, the first step is that in the Ashtadhyayi, a later rule applies, gets precedence. But if one of those two rules is a nityakaryam, it applies regardless of the other, while the other is anityakaryam, then nityakaryam takes precedence. This paribhasha is pura para nityantarangapavada nam uttarottaram baliyaha. So parakaryam is baliyaha compared to pura, but nityakaryam is has even stronger force. So is it nityakaryam? Let's just check that. If the pratyaya becomes kit, then we cannot apply puganta laguputasya cha because of kiniticha. Okay, so when we apply 125, we can apply 7386. But vice versa is also true. If you apply puganta lagupatasya cha, we'll get the guna adesha uranraparaha, we'll end up with vart a. We'll have a sanyoganta mangam. So that will also stop 125. You understand that? So if we apply 125, we cannot apply 7386 because then by kiniticha. But if we apply 7386 and apply uranraparaha, it will stop 125. So that's the problem now, is that 125 is normally nitya karyam, because 125 will apply regardless. Let's say if you had an ikara or ukara over here, then the kiniticha is nitya karyam. It will stop puganta lagupatasya because nityatvat. But because uranraparaha comes and complicates things over here, when uranraparaha comes, we'll get a sanyoganta mangam. And then 125 will be stopped. So 125 is no longer a nitya karyam here. 125 is not nitya karyam because if you use puganda lagupatasya along with uranraparaha, we'll get a sanyoganta mangam. 125 cannot be applied. So 125, which is nitya karyam normally means if you have a ukara or ikara over there, then we can happily apply kiniticha because it's a nitya karyam. But in this case, when you have a rukara and upadha, unfortunately, what happens is that we end up with a sanyoganta mangam. Then 125 cannot apply. We need a vartikam over here. Rudupade-bhyo litaha kitvam gunat purvavipratished-hena. The vartikakara says that even though the kiniticha, the asanyoga lit kit is a purvakaryam compared to pugadalukupatasya, it's also not a nityakaryam, but still it needs to be given a chance. It needs to apply. We'll get the wrong form. So in spite of the fact that 125 is a purvakaryam, it is not a nityakaryam. Still, by the basis of vartikam, we apply that, make the A pratyaya kit, and that will stop the puganta lagupatasya. I hope you understand this argument. If you didn't understand, there's a recording. You can listen to that. This vartikam is required in order to give 125 the opportunity to apply. Otherwise 125 could not apply, because if we apply 7386, it will create a sanyoganta mangam because of uranraparaha. Okay, so this vartikam gives us the authority to apply 125, and then once 125 comes the kiniticha, It stops 7386. So vavrite, get the form vavrite. So okay, so it's lit. So all the steps are over here. It is the in the Saturday document, in the Saturday class, it's already been done. So we get the form vavrite. So pravavrite means it proceeded. So then kaha pravavrite? Ranaha pravavrite. Ranaha means the battle proceeded. Tatra means Lankayam, at that place, because at that place, Tatra Lankayam, Ranaha pravavrite. Then between Bhimaha Ranaha pravavrite, a fierce battle ensued. A fierce battle commenced. A fierce battle commenced. Of whom? Between whom and whom? Plavaga Rakshasa. We just did our Plavaga. Rakshas Pratapadikam. Plavaga Rakshasa means of the monkeys and the demons. So fierce battle went underway between the monkeys and the demons. And then there is this long samasaha, so dirgha samasaha, which is qualifying ranaha. So kidrishaha ranaha. What kind of ranaha? It is dig vijrumbhita kakutstha paulastya jaya ghoshanaha. Okay, let's follow the Malinatha. Let him do the Vigraha Vakyam for us. So first Tatra Lankayam, straightforward, because Lanka was mentioned in the prior shloka. Tatra Lankayam. Plavaganam Rakshasamcha Bhimaha Bhayankaraha. Digvijum. Now comes to this one is straightforward, and let's see the adjective for time being. Ranaha pravavrite pravrittaha. Then he gives the Amar Kosha. He says Astriyam Samaranika Ranaha Kalaha Nigrahau Ityamaraha. So these are used in the not in the feminine, so they can be used in the masculine or neuter. So these are all words meaning Dushtva tu Pandava Nikam, right? Very first chapter of Gita. So Anika, Pandava Nikam. So Pratyanikeshu Yodhaha comes in chapter 11 of Gita. Chapter 2 of Gita, Drishtva tu Pandava Nikam. Pratyanikam is opposing army. Pratyanika, opposing army. Pratyanikeshu Yodhaha, which is the warriors in the opposing army. So Anika, so Samara, Anika, Rana. These can be used, and Kalaha Nigraha. So Astriyam. So they are used in the non-feminine, means masculine or neuter. So this Ranaha can be masculine, can be neuter, also can be used in sense of war. Okay, so Pravavrite Pravrittaha, it proceeded. Now let's look at this long compound. It says that Digvijrumbhitam. Digvijrumbhitam. I think I have put the Vigraha Vakyam for that also here. Jrumba. Jrumba is to kind of expand, also means to yawn. Comes in the Rudrapa. Vojambhe dadhami. So that Jamba is to yawn or to spawn, to expand. So Digvijrumbhita. So Digvijrumbhita means this sound, just ghoshanaha. The sounds of victory, the cry of victory was kind of expanding, was filling up the directions. So it was expanding in the directions. So let's see if I put it over there. So Digvijrumbhita. So it should be Dikshu Vijrumbhitam. Digvijrum. So Dikshu Vijrumbhitam means in the Dikshu is Dik is direction. Dish Pradipadikam. So this was this Jaya Ghoshanaha. So Jayasya Ghoshana, Jaya Shabdaha, the cries of victory. So it was a war in which the Jayasya Ghoshanam, the cries of victory were the victories. Whose victory? Kakustha Paulastya Yoho. Victory of, of course, Yatha Sankhyam, respectively. The monkeys were crying out victory for Ramaha, and the Rakshasas were crying victory for Ravanaha. So Kakustha and Paulastya, we have derived this form previously. We'll do it one more time. Then, so it was a war in which the cries of victory, means Rama's victory and Ravana's victory, were filling up, so to speak, the directions. Were filling up the directions. Vijrum, so Dikshu Vijrumbhitam. If you want to collapse this compound, as I always say, to any Tatpurusha compound, it can be collapsed. Because Tatpurusha Uttara Pradhana. Tatpurusha Uttara Pada Pradhana. So we can so this Kakustha Paulastya Yoho Jayasya Ghosha. So Shashti Purushaha, Tatpurushaha, Shashti Samasa. So these can be dropped. If you want to make the kind of the Pradhanamshaha. The main part of samasa we can take is that, and dikshu also is saptami tatpurusha. You see how we can collapse all of this now. We don't need dikshu, saptami tatpurusha. We don't to get the basic compound. We don't need that. That's like an added thing over there. Same thing here. Kakustha paulastya yoho is shashti, Dvitiya Vicharam, shashti samasa. Then tayoho jayaha. So we can drop those two now. Then jayasya ghoshanam. We can drop the yasha. So what do we get? Vijrumbita ghoshanaha. So it was a war in which the loud cries, ghoshanam, they were expanding, they were filling up. So that is simple compound, and then we get dikshu vijrumbitam is expanding in the directions, in all directions. Then kakusta paulastya yoho rama ravana yoho jayaha. Whose victory was it? Victory of Rama and Ravana, respectively, of course. And jayasya ghoshanaha. It was a cry of victory. Okay, let's see what Malinatha says. So try to get just like we get a simple sentence, if you have a long compound, generally speaking, there will be, I should say most of the time, you will have tatpurusha samasas in that. So so then we can remove those. We can remove tatpurusha samasa out of that. So he says that so dig vijrumbitam, no commentary. Simple tatpurusha samasa, diksha vijrumbitam, dig vijrumbitam. Kakutstha paulastya yoho rama ravana yoho. So kakutstha is Ramaha, paulastya is Ravanaha. So because Kakutstha was one of the ancestors of Rama, and Pulastya or Paulastya, there's some say Pulasti, some say Paulastya. So he is the ancestor of Ravanaha. He is, I think, grandfather of Ravanaha. Paulastya yoho. Jaya Ghoshanam, Jaya Shabdo. Jaya Shabdaha. Ghoshanam means the crowd, exclamation, Jaya Ghoshanam. Yasmin Satatoktaha. It was a battle of this kind. It was such a battle in which there was these loud cries of victory of Rama and Ravanaha. And so that is. Let's look at some Vyakaranam over here. The translation. So this
So Sadesh?
Yeah.
This whole thing is like an adjective to Ranaha?
It is an adjective.
Okay.
Because Bahuvri is Anyapada Pradhanaha. So Bahuvris create adjectives only. So this entire thing is an adjective to Ranaha.
Right, okay.
So there
I
was
wondering how it connects there. Okay.
No, this entire, in fact, as a matter of fact, for homework, okay, take the entire next shloka. Kalidasa fills up 4 more adjectives for Ranaha. The Rana is continued in the next shloka. We have 4 more adjectives. All Bahuvri compounds. Padapa Viddha Parigha. Shila Nishpishta Mudgaraha. Atishastra Nakhanyasaha. Shaila Rugna Matangajaha. This is all qualifying Ranaha. Ranaha Prabhavrute. So this kind of war proceeded.
Oh, okay.
This fierce war in which Kim Vidha Ranaha.
Okay.
It was Ranaha in which these we'll do it next time in detail, in which these iron-studded instruments, these clubs, they're being clubbed by the trees. So it was a war in which these clubs were being clubbed by the trees. Then these mudgaras, another kind of weapon, were being crushed by the stones. And then there were these scratches, nails were scratching, even worse than the weapons. Atishastra Nakanyasaha. Then the Matangajaha, the elephants were being hurt by these rocks, big rocks, literally mountains. So it was a war which all of these are all Bahuri compounds. Look at the end of these compounds, all Parigha.
Shila and Shaila both mean rock?
No, Shila is a rock. Shaila, which comes from rocks. Shaila it's like, I think it's Samuha. It's a collection of rocks.
Oh.
I think it's come right. So that means a Shaila. So, but it's like blocks, which is like bunches of rocks. So it means a mountain, of course, this is mountain. But
yeah, right.
so anyway, this is Bahubali.
Okay.
So for homework next time, all these 4 compounds, you look at the ending word are all, they're not adjectives. So they're going to be Bahubali compounds. So we'll take that for homework.
Right.
Okay, let's look at some Vyakaranam. We have only 5 minutes left, and we'll continue next time. Let's see what we have here. Okay, now Kakutsthasya Patyam, this we did in the prior class already, Kakutstha. Use the word Shiva Dibhyo and we need, because normally if you have Adantam Pratipadikam, Dasharathasya Apatyapuman, Apatyam Puman, and we've done this in great detail in the Wednesday class already, in great detail, we just did it. So the Ata-i would have come. Ata-i. So, but to block that Shiva Dibhyo and. Shiva Dibhyo and. So let me just give you the numbers here. It is, so Tasya Apatyam. Apatyam doesn't mean son or daughter, it could mean any descendant. So Apatyam normally in the language is used as Anantara Apatyam, but in Vyakaranam it could mean even grandson, etc. But so because Rama was not son of Kakutstha, he was a son of Kakutstha. Kakut is the hump of a bull. One of the ancestors of Rama, he sat on the hump of the bull to aid Indra in defeating the demons. He became Kakutstha. Sutram Supistha. In forming Kakutstha, we have used this Sutram Supistha, which also we done for in the Wednesday class in great detail, Supistha. And then after Kakutstha, we use the Pratyaya An by Shiva Dibhyo An, because what would have happened is that An is Adhikritaha by the Pragdivyato An. That would have been Pragdivyato An is coming from this one, 483. But Atai would have stopped that. Adantam Pratipadikam Yaju Pratyaya I has been Dashratihi, Ravanihi, in Gita, Saumodattihi. So we will not get the form Kakustha. We'll get the form Kakusthi we would have got. So then Shiva Dibhyo An. The word in Shiva Diganaha, they take the Pratyaya An again, and the Kakustha in the Shiva Diganaha. So we get Kakustha. Now Paulastyaha is another interesting one. Pulastehe Gotra Patyam Paulastyaha. So Pulastihi was the from whom Ravana descended. Gotra Patyam is grandson down onwards. We studied this in the Wednesday class in a lot of detail. If you want to practice this, listen to the recording of the Wednesday class. What is Gotra Patyam? Is the Potra Pabhritihi. From the Potra Pabhriti, from grandson onwards is Gotra Patyam. So then add the Pratyaya, this Gargadibhyo Anya. So this Gargadibhyo Ai is as the Pratyaya, Gargadibhyo Yai. Gargadibhyo Yai. Pratyaya Yai is used in the sense of Gotra Patyam, grandson on down. Gotra Patyam. So there and then of course we do the Adi Vriddhi, Vatiteshvacha Madehe, Halantyam Itsanya is gone. Then Yachivam Yasyeticha, we get Paulastya. Or we can take Pulastya. Because in Bhagavatam, other places, Pulastya, Akaranta Shabdaha, is apparently mentioned as the grandfather of Ravana. Not Pulasti, but Pulastya. Then what we do is when we add these, so even the Pulasti is in the Gargadi Ganaha, we can Upalakshanam for Pulastya also. So we can add Pulastya and make Gargadi Bhyo Yai. We get Paulastya plus Ya, Yachibham Yasyeti Cha. Paulastya Ya, and then the Sutram 8464, interesting Sutram. It says that Halo Yamam Yami Lopaha Anyatrasyam. If you have a Hal, for by Yam letter, by another Yam letter, then Lopaha takes place. So what do we have here? We have Takara, Yakara, Yakara. So Yam followed by Yam, however, rat from Yam you start there, from the up to the nasals, the Nam. So here we have a Yam, the Yakara is a Yam, followed by Yakara the Yam again. So then the middle Yakara takes Pakshika Lopaha. So this Sutram is Halo Yamam Yami Lopaha. You can start from Pulastya and also get the from Paulastya optionally. So we can start from Pulasti, which is straightforward, only Yachivam Yasyeti Cha. In both cases, Gargadibhyo Yai, Gargadibhyo Yai, Gargadibhyo Yai. In the case of Pulastya, if you start from there, we have to use the Halo Yamam Yami Lopaha. Halo Yamam. So you can practice on your own To add the pratyaya, yahi, do the adi vriddhi, yachivam yasyeti cha, halo yamam yami lopaha, vanyakara godigatam polyasti. You can, in some Puranas, mention he's called Pulastya, not Pulasti, but Pulastya. We have to do it this way. Now, Plavagaha, we just did that. Plavagaha, we just did in the Paraya Shlokaha. Okay. Okay, Van, ready? Just in time. Let us see. Okay, last one for today. And we already got the homework too. That's also been done. Let's look at the number 72. So there, what is there?
Tatra.
Tatra Lankayam. Because Paraya Shloka, we had Lankam, so Lankayam. A terrible. Bhayankaraha Bhimaha. Conflict. Ranaha. Because he has given over here. Astriyam Samarani Karanaha Kalaha Nigrahau Ityamaraha. So Ranaha. The conflict. Sangharshaha. Anikaha. Ensued. Pravavrite. Vru is to exist, to move out, to conduct, but pravru is to, pravritti is to kind of proceed, to engage, pravritti. Comes in Gita and many places. Between the monkeys and demons.
Pralavaga Rakshasam.
Yeah, this is the, I'm sorry, I'm locking you. Plavaga Rakshasam. So Plavena Gacchati Plavagaha Rakshasam. In which is the Bahuvrihi, Yasmin. The acclamations, war cries. So, Ghoshanam. Look at the change in gender, by the way. Ghoshanam became Ghoshanam. Anyapada Pradhanaha. So Ghoshanaha. Ghoshanam became Ghoshana. This entire theme became like Ramavat now. He's qualifying Ranaha. Of victory.
Jaya.
So Jaya Shabda. So Jayasya Ghoshanam. To Kakustha and Paulastya. So Kakustha Paulastya Yoho Rama Ravana Yoho. Spread, expanded is Vijrumbhita. Spread over Dikshu. So the Dikshu Vijrumbhitam Kakustha Paulastya Yoho Jayasya Ghoshanam Yasmin Saharanaha. This is Rahanaha. Okay, just on time, so thank you. And as Venkatji has given you the Ashirvachanam, Shivaste Panthana Santu. And next time homework, we will be, Nagaraj is always here. Thank you for being here regularly. And we will start with number 73. Okay. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramo